Thank you. I'd now like us to move to the Forecaster of the Year awards, which are announced each year, with 4 awards being given out, and of course the bragging rights, if you're right, that go along with them. This year's awards are sponsored by Bloomberg and will be presented by Andrew Husby. Andrew is a U.S. and Canada economist at Bloomberg Economics based in New York. Before that, he was Senior Economic and Strategist at Decision Economics. He is also a CFA charter holder. Please welcome Andrew.
All right, long walk from there. Let's find the clicker. Okay, thanks very much. It's an honor to be here on behalf of my colleagues at Bloomberg. These sorts of events have certainly been something we've sorely missed over the last few years, so it's great to see all these faces in person. And also to the new CFA charter holders, I know certainly having gone through that process myself, it's a long road, but congratulations on that. I know you'll find the experience and the connections you've made with that CFA program quite the value and the asset to your career. So congratulations again for that. All right, so for the business at hand, I'm here to present those 2021 forecast winners. That event, of course, was held virtually last year. Thinking back to last year, we started to sense a return to normalcy as vaccines came online. We had a reopening spring and summer, snap election here in Canada. We all got intimately acquainted with how supply chains affected our daily lives and inflation that came with it. And ultimately, 2021, also the year Jeff Bezos went into space, along with the Canadian housing markets. And for the moment, only one of them has returned to Earth. So we'll see how that goes this year and next. Team Canada won gold in women's soccer in the Tokyo Olympics, so congratulations there too. So that was the uplifting parts of the year. Certainly it ended on a more uncertain note. We had the Omicron variant roll through global economies, and we certainly saw some alarm bells ringing with respect to Russia and Ukraine later in the year. So with that said, all of those events, many of those impacted financial markets, and let's turn to our first award winner, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Just a small programming note there, about 22 years after we got that book, Dow 36,000, we got there finally. So many of you were bullish on the equity market in the U.S. at least, did expect a return around 7% for the year, right around that historical average. So I guess you all looked at your CFA books. And ultimately, the actual return came in much stronger, closer to 19%, and only about 6% of you expected a return at least that high. So our winner, relative to that year-end value of around 36,338, was Aman Mir, 36,400. Aman, you can come up. If you can come up on stage, we've got a prize for you. Okay, next up, the S&P TSX. Here too, there was a bit of a home bias here. You expected a return a little stronger than the Dow, so also following that CFA curriculum. So there too, but here too, not optimistic enough. We got a return of close to 22% for the year, but only about 10% of you expected in advance at least that strong. So it was another year where the optimists came through. So we ended the year 21,222.84, and let's see, our winner there, Mike Volrath, 21,123. Pretty close there. So congratulations, Mike. You can come up as well. All right, next up, bond yields, another source of certainly uncertainty at the moment. But 2020 was a low yield environment. We got a rise in the 30-year Canadian bond yield in 2021. Most of you did correctly anticipate a rising yield environment, but perhaps didn't quite anticipate the rise we'd see this year. But that's the question for your 2022 picks. So we did end the year at 167.78. That was about near the top end of basically the middle 50% of that range there. So let's see who our winner was here. It was Allison Bourrier, 170. All right, last one on the docket here, the TSX stock pick challenge. Many of you did sort of get in the right vicinity. The most popular pick was an energy firm, Suncor Energy. Most of your top picks, or top performers last year, rather, were energy and oil-related firms. Certainly no surprise given the run-up in oil prices we saw later in the year. The highest selection out there was 109%. Lowest, not quite as good, down 83%. The average of your picks, also a little shy of the overall TSX composite, but there's always next year. The average was around 7%, so here's to a better year in 2022. So the overall winner with that selection, 109%, was Chris Gundy. Tourmaline Oil Corp was your pick. Here too, the energy theme won out. Okay, so you've heard that there is a QR code on the back of your menus, or the programs rather. And just before I close out here, a couple other slides. I'll toss out a few statements, and when we're thinking about predictions, central bankers make a lot of predictions and statements, and of course last year we got a less than good one. As Jerome Powell said, inflation would likely be transitory. That turned out less than well. Inflation rocketed higher. This year, we got another statement that I hope pans out better from Chair Powell down south. He does say that, in his view, the probability of recession is not particularly elevated. So hopefully that's one that pans out. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about that from our keynote speaker tonight, so looking forward to the discussion there. So once again, thank you on behalf of my colleagues at Bloomberg, and it's again been a pleasure to be a part of this event. Thank you very much.